A new XRP all-time high within the next 4 weeks. Could that really be possible? We will talk about that today. Additionally, there is big news about Ripple versus SEC. Yes, a post went out yesterday that caused some market movement. Nevertheless, today we will take a look at the complete trading setup, what my assessment is, and where the market might possibly move. Okay? And we will also recap what happened yesterday and how the prices seemingly didn't care at all. I would say let's dive right in. See you after the intro. Now, new uptrend VIP trading, your opportunity to copy the signals of 2 professional traders for free. They managed to grow an account from $4,000 to $30,000 within 2 months. The results in the group are also impressive. All you need for this is a deposit of $100 into your BingX account. You can find all further information below in the description. At the beginning, a quick look at the crypto bubbles. Yes, it looks green for now. However, don't let that drive you crazy. For example, Pepe has now made a 15% gain, but if he fell 20% in the last few days, it's still a 10% loss. Nevertheless, one can say that Bitcoin is taking a bit of a breather right now. I also posted a tweet today regarding this chart. By the way, if you're not following me on Xbox yet, you are welcome to do so. If you don't want to miss any important breaking news, just search for trend_info or simply check the description. The link is there too. You can see it here once again. You might call me crazy, but this could really be a bullish sign. Why? Most people are throwing in the towel and the trading volume keeps decreasing. So, compared to the peak in February, we are talking about an overall decline of more than 60%. And even after the news that came out yesterday, which I'll get to in a moment, one could say, well, Bitcoin has recovered a bit. This also affected XRP, Solana, Dogecoin, and BNB. However, Ethereum and Cardano even recorded declines as a result. So we notice we are deeply entrenched in fear. And yes, we're back to the topic. Be greedy when others are fearful. Feel free to share your personal opinion on this in the comments. First of all, I would like to thank you. We broke the 10K mark 2 days ago, and I know it's not easy right now. When I look at how many new community members joined in the last 28 days compared to just a month or 2-3 months ago, it's honestly, I have to say, a joke in comparison. However, I'm sure if you're one of those watching the videos now, you're on the right path. Why? I just explained that. And if you're still on the channel now, you'll naturally ask yourself the justified question, okay, Daniel, what do you actually do? This is about crypto news. Honest, fact-based, neutral, transparent. If you want to support this video and my hours of research, all for free and easily, then feel free to leave a like now. And if you don't want to miss any of these news, feel free to subscribe for free now and activate the bell so you don't miss any important information. And now let's continue watching. We were all eagerly anticipating yesterday and said, okay, the inflation numbers, how will they really look? They are definitely lower than expected. So 2.9% was expected. Now it's 2.8%. What is quite interesting at this point is the forecast now, so this is already quite ambitious. Now they are already expecting 2.5%. This could go well in April. Or because the expectation might not be met accordingly, this could also trigger a negative reaction in the markets. What can be noted? Yes. Okay, the fear and greed index, it has gone up a little, just minimally. Yesterday, it must have been at a value of 19. Okay, now it's 21. Quite nice, but still grounded in reality, so to speak. But if you look at it again, the prices haven't shot up massively either. So I remember the last time we had a deviation of 0.1 into the negative. There was a really big correction then. Now, even if you look at the Bitcoin, if you look at the new spot ETFs, yes, we have here, it's really a miracle. We are truly celebrating this. Let's celebrate it. Yes, we have a positive result. But even BlackRock had outflows yesterday nonetheless. And in the end, it must be noted, yes, the volume is currently not present at all. If we also look at the chart, we can see that nothing really massive has happened. And now directly onto Ripple. There are some news which we will just put together like this, then assemble the puzzle at the end and see what possible rate could come out of it, especially in the short and long term. The company received full regulatory approval from the Dubai Financial Services (CONS) Authority to offer cross-border crypto payment services in the United Arab Emirates. And there comes now the addition, making Ripple the first licensed blockchain payment provider in the Free Economic Zone Dubai International Financial Center. I have pulled out another article for you here. This license is another milestone in Ripple's expansion strategy. One can definitely agree with that, especially because it is now also the first company of its kind. There should be corresponding potential available. So we are already talking about more than 60 regulatory approvals. The demand, especially in the Middle East, is quite strong. Garlinghouse has also spoken positively about it. Now he can only clearly say at this point, yes, such partnerships, as we have also noticed, especially at the beginning of Trump's term, or rather, during the election, an incredible number of new partnerships were formed. Yes, everything still somewhat depends on this verdict, or rather, on the acquittal or non-acquittal, the legal dispute with the SEC. And it should be noted at this point, such things are long-term. This will not pay off in the short term. But in the long term, I can certainly imagine it. And now, of course, the rumor mill is bubbling again. Because today, once again, a meeting of the SEC is taking place, at least with some of its members. Well, I gathered this information, and I don't want to dampen the motivation, but apparently this meeting takes place every Thursday. By the way, this is under the Sunshine Act, which means it's not public. So, we will hardly learn the results today, but well, in any case, we hope, as a savvy XRP investor, one naturally hopes that yes, but today, well, today it could really be settled. Sure, we can hype ourselves from week to week, or we can simply face the facts, because indeed there are already a few more reports here that I would say provide a bit more seriousness and substance. We are talking about the Fox journalist Eleanor Tarrant, and she has made a few predictions here that are quite realistic. So, a quick recap. We have this fine of $125 million that the court imposed on Ripple in August last year. That was the ruling from Judge Torres. Well, now, the big point is that apparently the SEC is also not quite sure whether all of this was legitimate, what happened under Gensler and so on. Yes. And now the next question arises. If Ripple were to pay this fine, it would be almost an admission of wrongdoing. Now there is a second theory. This one comes from a US lawyer named Fred Ripple, who also said, yes, I can imagine. By the 16th April, the whole thing could be dismissed because that's when Ripple's deadline to respond to the SEC's appeal expires. I just find it interesting in context. Why does the whole thing then end if Ripple doesn't respond, meaning if the SEC doesn't do it? Yes, of course, logically, then it would just be over. But does Ripple simply not have to respond anymore? And then the whole thing is over? So, no idea. In the end, we have to wait and see. I see a big risk in it, and you are welcome to write your thoughts in the comments. Now let's assume, no matter when, the announcement comes out, yes, the whole thing is scrapped, it's in favor of Ripple. Then there could be a massive pump in the XRP price. I think overall in crypto as well, but how long will it last? That's the big question. So do you think it will be sustainable? Or like the recent pumps, which relatively quickly end in a dump, and now we come to this expert forecast, In the next 4 weeks, we might be around, let's just say, at a price of $335, somewhere near the all-time high. Is that really conceivable? So there is a post about this with an explanation and corresponding resistance lines. And if you look at it here, then you assume that, yes, okay, a bottom has been found here and bam, then it goes parabolically upwards. I would suggest we let this chart be for now and move on to the analysis together. And for that, let's pull up the charts. By the way, if you're looking for a crypto exchange where you can trade without KYC, I've arranged that for you with Femex, a licensed exchange. Take a look in the description. There's the link. You can sign up for free. And if you also want to secure a deposit bonus with a $100 deposit, you get $25 credited to your futures account. And with $500, it's even $80. Now you can see down here, I still have some open positions. They are all long oriented. So clearly, I do believe overall that we will rise again. You will just see shortly that in the short term, I do expect it could go in the opposite direction again. Let's start here with Bitcoin in the daily view. And yes, we see a very clear downtrend. I proved it yesterday. We are completely tied to the NASDAQ, whatever it does. If you're interested in that, you should be clicking here. That's why we should clearly keep an eye on it today. Yes, what's exactly happening there now? Yes, here too. So despite the fact that it went up a bit yesterday, some might think, wow, now it's taking off. So look at it from a broader perspective. It can easily happen that we have nothing more than just a counter movement here. And then bam, we find ourselves much lower. So we will see. I still maintain that if this trend continues, we could run around 70K here. And if that doesn't hold, the next zone could really be towards 64, 65K. Now let's take a quick look at the heat map again. So this is currently the daily view. Here you can also see down there, it's lighting up quite a bit again. So at just about 85 and 50. And also on the broader semi-annual view, we still have this block lying down here. And that would also align with the forecast. But it all depends on the traditional market. If there is finally a trend reversal and upswing in the Nester, then the picture here could also change again. Further look at Cardano also here. So we had our Trump pump here. And it was, I have drawn it here with the red line, accurately retested. Then it continued upwards. Now one might say, yes, the downtrend has been broken. I have also drawn a volume area here, which could certainly provide some support. Especially in this zone, a lot was relatively tested, retested, and so on. So let's say roughly around 70 cents. However, we also see here how a small arc is almost forming. Of course, it also depends on what happens next with Bitcoin. But the tendency is already looking like this. Also, it seems more like since we are not forming higher highs, that it will go down again. Now, again, on the hourly view, we had the chance yesterday. That was the pump after the interest rate decision, if you can call it a pump. But what happened? It was immediately sold off again. And there was no chance here either. Last time, I'll draw it for you here. We had the testing of this area right here. And that was it at that point. Well, now we just have to wait and see if this zone is not significantly breached by the daily close. Then the tendency looks more like we will continue to move downwards. And then it becomes interesting because the next zone is around 64 cents, which should hold or could potentially offer support. We see here, because there's always a bit of movement and testing in this area. Yes, if that doesn't hold, then it could go significantly down again. Further look at XRP. And as you can easily see here, so I can rather imagine that we might move down another level. Because if we look at it now, we had our symmetrical triangle here, which we can see here, converging. And a breakout could definitely occur there. Yes, we had another push back up here. But all in all, it's a clear downtrend that we can recognize here. And now it gets interesting. I have drawn two zones for you. This is the resistance area, these $2.03. I will now pay attention to whether it is sustainably broken through. It has already been tested here and here as well. Fortunately, it continued upwards in each case. But if it doesn't hold, the more often such zones are tested, by the way, the thinner it becomes, and eventually it breaks through. Then I personally see a real chance that we could fall back to around $1.54. A last look at Solana, also here in the daily view. We see a very clear downtrend here, and the distance to the line is really extreme. I have still marked these $130. For me, this is the critical level, and right now we are already below it. There is also this next zone, and I don't even want to say it, but that's the area where we could end up. And we're talking about somewhere in the range between $110 and $100, or maybe even below that. If that doesn't hold, especially around 89, I don't even want to say it. The next larger volume area would be somewhere around $77, $40. And by the way, taking a quick look at the 4-hour view, we can see here too the downtrend is clearly present, and we also don't see any higher highs. So there are always lower lows, lower highs. So therefore also here, the trend, it looks like this. Here too, one could almost say, yes, this curve is forming. As mentioned, the traditional markets are now deciding what Bitcoin does. And Bitcoin decides what then happens with the altcoins. That's it for today. I am very curious to know if these trading signals, the charts, and the analysis of where any resistance zones are help you. If it helps you, feel free to write in the comments. And of course, also share your opinion on XRP. And if you want to give this video a little boost, it's very simple, straightforward, and free. Just leave a like now, and otherwise I can give you a tip. Yes, the video from yesterday, it wasn't clicked on massively. You can tell, of course, people are not as active in the cosmos anymore. Feel free to check it out. Here is the link to it, because I talk in detail about this topic with the interest rate decision. What could happen next week with the Fed? So, there were just inflation data, but they are crucial for the Fed's decision. I am very curious. We'll see each other tomorrow in the next update. Till then, bye.